Did you click on this video because you're unsure which college you should go to? Or did you click on this video because you know that decision day, May 1st, is looming right around the corner? Or did you click on this because you saw this really handsome man on the thumbnail?
Nice.
Okay, well, you most likely clicked for the first reason. No, you picked because of me. I know you did. Don't lie to yourself. That being said, welcome to my channel. Today, I'll be going through what factors you should consider before picking the right college for you. I just graduated from college 3 months ago from the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and I feel like now that I've been through college, I think I'm qualified to say which factors you should consider before picking a college. Now, these factors might vary in importance to you, so you should use your own scale to see which factors mean more to you. To make this decision-making process easier, I'd recommend taking out a piece of paper and making a grid on it with the colleges that you're considering on the left and the factors that we're going to be talking about on the top. And so as you watch through this video, feel free to pause and you can just write down a check mark if you'd be happy with that factor at that school. And if you're not happy with that factor at that school, you could just put an exit through it or just leave it blank. And by the end of this video, you'll easily see the schools with the most check marks being probably the ones you would like to be at the most. So let's dive right in. Yeah, yeet. First thing is cost. I think overall cost is an important thing you should consider because money. And money you like. You like money.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true.
So you want to save money if you can. If you have to take out loans, I would not consider that financial aid, despite some schools calling loans as aid, because you're still going to be paying that in the end. And if you are taking out loans, get a picture of how loans work. You're going to take out money for loans, and that will be your principal. And then you're going to have an interest rate attached to these loans, and that will end up being your interest. And basically, interest increases over time. And you want to pay off your loans as quickly as possible. You want to make sure you can have a college that will get you a job or path to a place where you can eventually pay those loans off. Major! You want to know what major you're going to be studying, and you want the school to have that major. If you're undecided, don't worry. I'd recommend taking this summer to figure that out. If you feel like you are not 100% sure, watch YouTube videos, ask some people, try to see if you'd enjoy it. Look up the salaries, etc. And no matter what your major is, I'd recommend having 2 or 3 backup majors in mind in case you don't like the major you end up choosing. You should be happy and you should be in a place that'll allow you to be financially free one day. And so some schools make it easy to switch between majors, but some don't. Like I took organic chemistry and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
No!
So I switched. Even if you're really set on it, I would recommend having a backup major in mind. Prestige! Prestige and academic quality. At the end of the day, I would say that a college degree is a college degree. No matter where you go, no matter what the ranking is, no matter how well known it is or it isn't. Period. Period.
Period!
But prestige can help in some situations. So for example, some companies end up going to certain colleges because of the programs they have for particular majors. For example, if you're a computer science major at USC, a lot of companies go there for computer science. Now, another school whose computer science department is way smaller or doesn't have as many connections to companies in that area might not have the same experience. So you can look into what your major is and what the ranking for that department is. That being said, also check if your school is accredited in whatever major you're looking in. So this I think is important for engineers too. So you want to get your engineering degree from a school that's accredited in engineering, because basically when jobs are looking at your application, they'll see, oh, this is from an accredited major, so we know we can trust this person's skills. So that can be helpful as well. If you're looking at rankings, I'd say put some weight on it, but not too much weight on it. Like having a good rank is helpful, theoretically, but it shouldn't be the end-all be-all in your decision. Long-term career development. You want to make sure your college gives you the education you need to end up at a better place than you are now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, think about where you're going to end up after you graduate. Do you want to do grad school? Do you want to go to a job? What do you want to do? Based on that, you should look at a career center if you're looking for a job, and if you're looking for grad school, you want to see if there's like a pre-health advising committee or a pre-law advising committee, grad school advising committee, etc. There are a lot of job portals available like Connect, Handshake. Those are two of the ones I know, and depends on the school. They're all named differently sometimes. See if your school has that. Handshake, for example, is a place where a bunch of companies, Google, consulting firms, etc., they put their job applications there. You, the student, apply on them, and then those companies like, oh, the resume came from my school portal, yay! I'm gonna look at that one. And it makes the job process a little bit easier. And also, you can see the average salaries for specific schools when you graduate. So, for example, if you want to look up engineering average salaries for USC, you can look it up on their website. And then there's another page in the business school's website that tells you for undergraduate salaries. So you want to look up undergrad salaries, not grad school salaries. If you're a pre-health or pre-law, there's also a thing called grade deflation. So see if your school that you're considering does that. Like, does it make classes harder to get an A in? Because in the end, if your goal is graduate school or med school, your main goal is probably to have a good GPA. You can also check out if the school has an alumni network. Schools that have strong spirit for their school often have a good alumni network, and that can help you out when you're looking for jobs. So for example, if you're from University of Michigan and you see a job applicant from University of Michigan, you might be more likely to engage in conversation with that applicant because you went to the same school. Student life and fun factor. Now, college is a time to study, but there's also a lot of time to have fun.
Did I lie? Did I lie?
To see how much fun you'd have, I'd suggest looking at a few things. Enjoyment, culture, and school camaraderie. With enjoyment, you can figure out what you'd like. Now, only you know what you like, but you can probably get a sense of it by looking at videos on YouTube from different schools, etc. Will you enjoy being a student there? Imagine waking up at 7 in the morning in a twin-sized bed with a bad roommate. Just kidding. Or a good roommate.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
And you're gonna wonder, hey, will I be happy to go to class at 8 a.m.? Pick the school that you'd be happy at. Party culture. If you're into partying, you're gonna find partying at pretty much every college, so don't worry about that. If you don't want to party, don't worry. Even party schools have so many people that don't party. So pretty much, you'll be fine no matter where you go. School camaraderie and school spirit. Now, I didn't think watching sports was that exciting in high school, so I didn't really care. But having been in college now for 4 years, I would say that having school spirit and being able to go to sports games is actually really fun. And you get to meet so many people, everyone's in the zone, they're wearing the clothes for your school, and it's really exciting, honestly. But depending on your preferences, this is something you can consider as well. Extracurriculars! You probably know about these from high school, but in case you don't, they can take a variety of means, and one of them is career-related clubs. So if you want to do consulting, you want to go to a place that has a consulting club. or an investment banking club, or a pre-health club, or a pre-law club. You get the picture. That'll help you stand out in your resume or in your grad school application. Next, non-career related clubs. You want to dance? You want to do yoga? You want to, I don't know, play badminton, play Super Mario with friends? Whatever. There's a club for almost everything in college. Like, there are Quidditch teams, there are Star Wars clubs, etc. Just take a small gander and find a few that you like. Most schools have so many clubs, so just find a few that you like, and if it's there, that's another check mark you have on your bucket list of college requirements. Other activities and sports, intramurals, that's something you might want to consider as well. And if you're interested in frat life, that's something you might want to consider. I personally wasn't. There are social frats and there are also professional frats. Professional frats are pretty much like career-related clubs that grad schools and companies can look at and think highly of. Campus. Now, this one is interesting. I would say if you're looking at how the campus looks, I wouldn't say that's too important, because at the end of the day, if you're like studying at 3 in the morning for an exam, you're not going to be thinking about, oh, how's the architecture of my building right now? Like, no, you're not going to think about that. But you are going to think about things you want and need, such as, do you want a gym? Do you need any ramps if you need some accommodations, if you have a wheelchair, etc. So those are some things you should consider with the campus. Location. So we all hear about how important location can be, but basically check out weather, the geographic region. If it's like a new region of the country, would you be okay living there? Third, is it any near major cities? So if you ever want to go off campus, are you in a place where you could visit other things pretty easily by taking an Uber or public transportation? Travel cost. If you're going to have a vehicle on campus, if you have a vehicle, that might make things cheaper. But if you don't, consider how much transportation would cost. Location can also be helpful with jobs. So for example, if you go to a school in a particular region, more companies will recruit at that region than elsewhere. But you'll still have chances to get employed in companies that are not from the area too, depending on the school you're going to. With location, also consider you personally. Would you be comfortable living that distance away from your hometown? In my personal experience, I, at the time, was really into being close to home because, I love being at home. But ultimately, I ended up going to a school that was far from home, like 4-hour flight away from home. Like, I'm from Chicago and USC is in Los Angeles. And I learned that I enjoyed having that different feeling to be in a new place. It's actually not as scary as it sounds. I'm serious when I say that. You'll realize after a month or two that you're going to be having so much fun and you're going to be learning so much that missing home will be like an afterthought. You still have FaceTime and you still have the ability to come back whenever you want. But either way, even if you prefer to be home or even if you prefer to be far, do what you think is best for you. School size. Now, I'd say school size is a thing that ranges from small liberal arts school to gigantic public school. There's a lot of in between as well. And for me, I'd say a small school is anything below 4,000 people, because my high school was 4,000 kids, which is a lot for some areas. So to me, that's a small school. But to you, that could be different. And to figure this out, you just want to Google the school name and then also write the words undergraduate population. Because a lot of schools have grad students and undergrad students, but you'll mostly be communicating and meeting undergrad students. So you want to check them out. And grad students, you'll rarely talk to, you might not even see them. I enjoy having more people on campus because I like meeting people from all over the place. Resources and support systems. So you might be homesick, for a little bit. Maybe you won't be. But regardless, if you want to have mental counseling or emotional counseling available, you can check to see if your school has that. Health and wellness programs. those are good too. And finally, how happy will you be? I'd say this is a thing that your heart will tell you. And I know that sounds pretty cheesy, but like, if you know you want to go to a school, you're gonna like it, you know? You might want to go to that school, but certain things might stop you, like, oh, it's so far, or oh, the major would be really hard there, or whatever. Don't let that stop you. You can do it. I mean, you got into this school, you're more than qualified to do well at whatever school you're thinking of. And that's the same way, other way around too. Pause. Things you should not consider are A, dating, and B, what other people want you to do, even if it's your family. Now, everyone's gonna give different recommendations. They'll say, go to this school, go to that school, but ultimately, do what you want to do. And with dating, no matter how long you've been dating, no matter how close you are to them, etc., do not pick a college on where they're going or how far they are from you. Do not do that. Also, with family, they might suggest a school based on cost, especially if they're funding this. Then you should consider that. But if they want you to go to XYZ school because, you know, maybe they went there, no. Do it based on what you prefer. So yeah, that's everything. If you have any questions or you would like to ask me for my opinion, feel free to comment below. If you enjoyed this, I'd love it if you were to smash the like button or comment, just say hi. I'll definitely be replying to every comment below or question below. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Stay happy.